What's good, beautiful people? Welcome to the Miss Best Reviews channel. Let's also welcome in our fabulous co-host, James, from the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel.
Hey.
Hello. I'm glad that James is here. We do a lot of shows on his channel as well. He's going to be adding back to his lineup on his channel, Love and Marriage Huntsville, soon. He has also agreed to take King's Court. I do not have the time to do it, so I greatly appreciate him. That airs this Sunday. He's got Housewives of Atlanta, a bunch of stuff. And there's also some links in the description to other African-American creators that you can support because we're great. Why not? But Love and Hip Hop Atlanta is back. I don't know why Love and Hip Hop Atlanta is back, because Love and Hip Hop Atlanta just went off of my television screen. But Love and Hip Hop Atlanta is back. I'm not excited. I'm not moved. This was a weird episode. We might be through this a little fast just because it was underwhelming for a first episode. Now, they did try to change up the concept by putting like a freestyle, kind of like cypher style energy at the top of the show, which in some ways, yes, is a clever idea, but let's keep it a buck. Like, half the time the drama don't be about the hip hop. I see what they were trying to do, but just for fun, before we get to the episode, because not much happened, Rashida is going to be my worst voted cypher. She did not rap. Rashida's never been able to rap, though. But I felt like she did the worst. In terms of who did the best, I really wasn't moved by any of them. Rennie Ritchie did well, though. Did you have any favorites from the ciphers, James, or were you just annoyed that they put that on your screen?
I'm annoyed they put that on my screen because, once again, this is MTV being their silly. Is MTV behind? Yeah, MTV's behind. Because I didn't forgot whether if it was Miami or Atlanta. I didn't want to misspeak. But this is once again what I'd be talking about. It did not make sense. I don't understand why they want to showcase this quote unquote talent of how they all made money for each other, for themselves at one point. I don't know why they're trying to pit this. I get the show's called Love and Hip Hop, but these were like, I don't want to call them rejects because that's not what they are, but they were not. They were not no highly successful music artists. Like, because if they were, they wouldn't be on this show. So
that's honestly that's true. That is true. And I know a lot of people would argue that because Spice is here, but Spice came on this show when her career was at a point where people kind of stopped caring. And now she's attained, mass success and has gotten people to care again. But yeah, it was a little odd for them to do. Let's welcome in Shani. I know that you are first. I appreciate you for being here. If anybody asks, though, y'all didn't see me here. I am busy helping patients if anybody asks. Shani said I didn't really listen to any of the raps that they had. They were like little weak bars about what they went through the previous season. And James was saying before we went live that this felt more scripted than any other Love and Hip Hop Atlanta episode, which I definitely agree. Shani says she did like the 404 day with Jock and the mayor. Meet me in the club is going down. I think it's good that Jock gives back to Atlanta. He's truly from there. Mama D gives back. His cousin, she's from there. The people on this show who've been here for a while give back, which is important to do when you're from somewhere. But yeah, Jock got an award. I'm not going to go over that too much. Rennie is a fool. She lets us know she's still with Black Zach after we all saw on social media everywhere that he had put her out the house because of an argument. We're going to talk about that. Jessica, we get some updates at the beginning. Jessica's been successful, but she's still dingy and she looks unreasonably skinny. Now,
okay, I thought it was just me.
No, it's not you, James. Like, this is what I call unhealthy skinny.
Yeah, like I know she was going through some depressions and stuff because, she had lost her sister and there was something else that happened, but she looked almost sickly. And I was like, what in the world?
And there's a difference between model thin and, like, for instance, Coyle Ray. She's a famous artist who's extremely thin, but she still looks healthy. Some people are just slender in their build, but Jessica looks like she going through something, and modeling does not require me to see your bones.
Yeah, like it's given like I know she wasn't always the thickest of people, but it does not look healthy. It almost makes me wonder if something else more is wrong with her. I kind of feel the same way about Contessa from
Yep.
Married to Medicine. I feel like there's something more going on that you're not saying because that's a drastic weight loss.
A lot of these celebrities too that are already thin are taking the weight loss drug, which that could do it, but I can't see anyone prescribing that to her. But I know you can also get it without the prescription, so you never know. But Jessica drinks a lot, has gone through a lot, so I'm a little concerned. But we'll see. We'll see. Shani said, "I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see nobody." That's right. Sure don't. Shady said, I thought it was me too. I think everybody noticed that about Jessica, but she's still such a beautiful woman. But then also, when someone loses weight like that, it's usually medically related or their mental health is impacted. And that's probably the case. A lot of people cling to exercising and diet sometimes in an unhealthy way to, cope with their depression or the things that they're going through. So you never know. Shani said in that black cutaway dress she had on in this episode was not liking the way she looked. But that's what happens. The thinner you get, the less your clothes fit right. But the group, everybody ends up meeting after Jock gets an award for a 404 day block party. For those who don't know, I believe that's the area code down there in Atlanta. Jessica, Ashley, Zane, and Rennie, they all speak at the event. And I'm like, okay, Rennie had her baby. She's back outside. And now it's reminding me like there were certain aspects of Rennie Rucci I did not really like. Like she's very talented, but the way she moves sometimes doesn't make sense. But Jessica asked Rennie, because everybody knew about the drama, if she was sure that her son belonged to Black Zach, who is her man and baby daddy. I said, why would you ask her that?
Not only that, and what makes you think that that would even be like the potentials of that being someone else's child when this lady is almost obsessed with this man? Like, I don't. Here's the thing: I don't put cheating past anybody. I don't. But at the same time, we can clearly see that that lady was not going to step out on that man, and that that is 100% his baby. We're not questioning that at all. I just think that she just wanted to make sure she picked a target because I do believe that she loves being on this show, even though I don't see, to connect to hip hop. If and I'm not going to use the quote unquote man that she was with since 2015, although he was married at that point. That's neither here nor there. But I just don't see it. I just don't see what she's seeing. Like it seems like it's out of character almost.
Understandable. I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that because it didn't make any sense. It was also very, very random. Moving forward, y'all, because Jessica irritated me with that. Rennie didn't really respond, but we do learn that she's going to have a wellness retreat. There's so much I want to say, but I'm not going to say it at this time about Jessica having a wellness retreat. That's what I'll say. Shani, stop it. Shani said at first I thought 404 was a wig color. It probably is, though.
I am on the floor.
It probably
Girl, no.
It probably is. Oh, my Lantis. Oh, Lord. Shani said, don't know nothing about Rennie and her man. Just that baby was cute as heck last season. Her child looked just like her. That happens sometimes. Usually the male genes are more dominant, but women's genes can also be dominant. The child looked like her. I don't know what people were expecting. I just don't. Shani said, did either of you guys listen to either one of them 11 diss tracks from Bambi and Spice? No. The only parts of it that I personally heard were what I believe the Shade Room in Hollywood Unlocked posted it. But I'm not the person that's going to scroll to the second page generally, especially for some stupid stuff like that. James, did you hear the songs?
No, y'all know damn well I did not listen to that. First of all, no, I don't think Bambi has it in her to do music. I think she should stick to just being an entrepreneur, selling her, is it called shimmy hair?
Shimmer.
Shimmer hair. Yes, she needs to just focus on that, building up that bread because she's highly successful in it. The hair does look of good quality. So
Yep.
music, I just feel like we've been she's been trying to do this since she was on Basketball Wives. So it's like, man, hang it up. Because you know that ain't your dream. Hang it up.
Lord help us. Lord help us. I He's right though. James is right. I do think that she should stick to the hair because even Bambi's little like entry, the little freestyle or whatever you want to call it at the beginning of the top of the hour, Bambi can't rap. And me and my husband, because my husband does music and we both review music, we were like, Bambi can write, but she can't rap. She needs to go straight and never rap. But I don't know who would take her seriously, so we just gonna move on. Sierra's at this event as well, and she's still upset with Rennie Rucci. I kind of respected Sierra though for her point. She was like, you know what? After watching the show, since you feel like I'm only around for TV and still talking stuff, even after we make peace, she said, then we don't need to be around on or off the screens. Personally, I don't care for Sierra. Gemini or not, I don't really care for Sierra. However, I did gain some respect for Sierra after that whole situation a couple seasons ago where Erica Mena used the slur against Spice. Though though Sierra was cool with Spice, she still held her accountable. There were other situations where Sierra was unusually loyal. So I do feel like Sierra is moving a little bit differently. However, she do be acting a certain way for the TV, but I do feel like I wouldn't care or want to mess with these people either. Because if we supposed to be so close and I end up in the hospital, somebody check on me. You don't got to come by, but at least check on me. And for everyone to just say that she did it for attention, she's moved differently since. So if she don't want to talk to Rennie, I feel like, hey, don't talk to Rennie. How did you feel about that, James? He might have stepped away. I am going to move forward then. Rollo, he comes. I don't know why he's still on the show. Yeah, he may be talented or a legend or acknowledged in the industry, but I personally don't understand why he's here. But we get to Jock and Kendra arriving, and this is where everyone gets to talking about the diss track. Spice and Rashida speak on getting dissed, and they don't seem too phased, but at the same time, they seem pretty pressed. And Rashida has a beef with Erica Banks and don't seem to care for her, but Erica Banks held Rashida accountable. And the rest of everybody else don't be doing that. They just be letting her lie. Rashida has been lying to us since season 1 about everything. She's not a girl's girl. She's barely Kirk's girl. So I don't care about any of that. Moving forward, we have to fast forward to Scrappy. He has another girlfriend. I don't care that Scrappy has a girlfriend, y'all, because Scrappy always has a girlfriend. And it was a red flag to me when he said that this is a girl that he was kind of talking to while he was still married. And then they broke up, and then he got a baby mama, and then the girl didn't want to deal with that. But I guess now that the baby's born, the girl is deciding to deal with him. It's given he's protecting her, and they probably been fucking on each other for some time. That's my opinion. But I don't really care for his relationship, and she kind of looks like Erica Dixon.
She does, and I said, and it was funny when I remember when you sent me the first news article about him seeing someone else. I said, okay, so this is basically just Erica Dixon 2.0 because that's exactly who I thought that was in the picture. That's why I was all like, okay, so what are you doing? To me, he's trying to show his level of toxicity on this show, and I don't like that. I feel like that's so problematic in so many different ways. The fact that you continuously are showing toxic ass ways when you've been on this show longer than the majority of this cast. So it's so crazy to me, and it's so cringe watching it.
It's the truth. It's the truth. Why these girls do it to themselves. At this point, I don't care about Scrappy's storylines. Um, it's the same every season. And honestly, I'd rather watch Mama D than him. I don't care. Like Mama D may be ghetto and act a little wretched on the TV screen and do too much, but in real life, she's philanthropic, is constantly giving, and is not behaving the way that she comes off on this show. So I'd rather see Mama D than Scrap. I just don't care for him. But we're gonna move forward, y'all. Bambi is back. She is already engaged. This is why she was with Scrappy. Neither of them are responsible. I never noticed that Scrap and Bambi didn't have a wedding because I was so caught up in the fact that when they got together, she was a side chick and then she tried to come at us like the wife and all this crazy stuff. So I didn't notice they didn't have a wedding. But okay, she's excited. She's trying on dresses. Ray Face, I believe his name is, the gentleman we saw last season on the trip that she was not sleeping with. I guess he got tired of waiting and said, let me just marry her now so I could go ahead and get some. Because that's what I feel is happening. That's exactly what I feel is happening. And if y'all disagree with me, that's fine. But something doesn't make sense. And I keep seeing like little rumors floating around Facebook and YouTube and all of this about Bambi and Ray. So I don't know what to believe. But she discusses with Jessica, who's there while she's trying on dresses, Spice and the whole diss track. And Jessica made a good point that really could have buried the whole discussion in beef, but they're going to drag it for a season. And what Jessica said was that Spice handled the production of the cast album inappropriately. She was incredibly unprofessional and messy. We know that Spice is going to do that. We expect it, yet everybody still signed on. But Bambi's response to Spice laughing at her 11 followers or listeners on Spotify is to say that Spice has, what did she say? She said something crazy like a couple million followers on Spotify, but only has a couple 100,000 streams, indicating that her streams are bots. Everybody in the industry has been accused of that, from French Montana to Beyonce to everybody. Labels pay for bots too in streams. Like it's a thing. That's part of why Spotify and a lot of the streaming platforms are now not counting streams and using software to detect them. But I'm just looking like, Bambi, just try on your wedding dress and get to the wedding. I don't want to hear about the diss track anymore. James, how did you feel about Bambi and Jessica's wedding dress scene?
You know, in today's time, we know these two aren't together anymore. So I guess, yeah, like you said, they're just trying to give us the build up to it ending. And I'm curious to see how that will play out because of what he's already accused her of being. And he was saying online how Malaysia is one of the big proponents of them not being together. And so is Zale. So I'm wondering if that's going to play out on this season to kind of back up his point of what was the cause of their breakup. So that's kind of how I felt. I was like, I wonder if this is just building this up to see if I don't see Malaysia bringing herself on the show, but I know Zell is on the show. So I wonder if we're going to see like maybe an example of that because I want to know what he's talking about too. I mean, I heard him, but I didn't understand him. That's how I felt.
Interesting. So I don't keep up with Bambi and like what goes on with her, but I have seen like little just floating posts. But that's interesting to hear. I wonder how Malaysia's involved. The hell?
Yeah, he said she's the biggest proponent. She don't want them together, and he said the same thing with Zell. And I was like, well, damn, Malaysia's not on the show, so I want to see how that plays out. But we know that Zell is, so maybe we might see something.
In my opinion, though, right? I'm very close with James. I'm also the type of person where my idea of close is not talking to me every day, calling me constantly. I'm just not like that. But I cannot imagine allowing my friendships to dictate what the fuck I do in my relationship, if that makes sense.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't dictate that. To me, that means that she's not serious about him and she just wanted a man and she just wanted to be engaged because that's what she wanted to do. She didn't care about the stipulations. But if you listen, like, 'cause I agree with him, that's why I said I want to see how this plays out. Because I agree, like, why would you listen to your friends, both of them being single and really miserable with themselves, Zell especially, because we saw that he had to create a whole baby mama storyline, which I wonder where that is on this show and if that's ever going to be addressed, but that's neither here nor there. But I just, yeah, it kind of makes me feel like, okay, well, then what is she building up towards now? Because this man already put this out there, so I'm wondering how it's going to play out.
Mm, we'll see. That's the thing that I don't like. Bambi, if you're going to be here, then do something other than to talk about your baby daddy just to line up with him and do this crazy diss stuff. She has stuff to talk about, but is not showing us what's what. But like James said, maybe it's leading up to it. Engagement party big fight was because of Zell, and Bambi did not put him in his place. Here's the thing. Nobody's going to really take you seriously if you get engaged and do things the way that they did. And I'm not saying, because there are a lot of couples who get married like after knowing each other for 30 days and they make it work. But her reason for not wanting to be intimate with this man was due to wanting to remain celibate until marriage because she wanted to make a change. He couldn't crack whatever it was that she had in between her legs while in Mexico. And I feel like he started with the promise ring and then gave the engagement rings because things was probably getting hot and heavy. I don't feel like they were ever like really in love. I feel like it was lust, but I guess we'll see more as the season goes
Because you
on.
don't take Bambi serious when it comes to love, because even when she was with Scrappy, it just felt like I didn't see that they were in love couple. It just felt like almost watching like a dictatorship happen right in front of you,
Yep.
where it was just constant control and making the decisions and doing what you want, then complaining when he ain't got his share of the rent and everything. That's what I saw. I didn't see, although I do think that they were nice together and they were a cute couple and complimenting each other well. I just didn't see it. I didn't see. I think that Bambi's one of those people where I think she's just asexual, where it just kind of doesn't, you don't see the chemistry or you don't see the physicality because she keeps it locked up. And it's weird.
Mm, I can agree with that. I'm so sorry, y'all. One moment. Responded to emails, but we're gonna move forward. Carly is full on into divorce mode. Another couple that me and James said from the moment she introduced this man that it would not work. I'm not even going to play. Listen, I wish Carly well, but she's too old to be acting like this, and I refuse to discuss it for an entire season in depth. Carly needs to seek help. She's 55 to 75 years old. We don't know, okay? But she's somewhere in that age range, and she's still making these crazy choices, and with each choice comes more filler that she adds to her face. Carly Red, I think, is a decent person. I don't have much negative to say about her. I just want her to utilize her last years on reality TV because I don't think she'll be here much longer on reality TV, but I want her to utilize her time left on reality television to show people who she really is inside. Get to know yourself, be vulnerable, go to therapy, call Yanla out of retirement, whatever she has to do. Because Carly, I'm tired of these men, these marriages, all of it. She talks to Rennie about her relationship as well as Saucy Santana. And I can't with Carly's calm voice when she's gone through something, when normally she's, and then she's like, I'm just so torn. I can't believe the person that I'm with. And I am an advocate for domestic violence. For those who do not know, had to deal with it a lot as a child. Growing up as a kid, we ended up in domestic violence shelters and things of that nature. That's what put me at the high school that I was at to meet James. So I don't want to negate the claims that she's making because it does sound like there's some type of abuse. But I want Carly to look into herself and learn what makes her continue to accept and seek out relationships with men who have the same traits. Because she doesn't deserve it, but she also should do the work. So that's
It
all
just
I'll say.
it just gives to me like she almost moves like Portia, where she sees the money and that's the end goal of it all. It doesn't matter how trash the man could be. If he has the money, she's gonna try to make it work. Cause like this lady was sitting over here talking about having a baby. And I'm like, Since when do senior citizens have babies? Like, I'm just saying, like, that to me, it's like, "Ma'am, aren't you going through menopause? You can't have no damn baby. The hell's wrong with you?" So, yeah, it was like she just did not live in her reality. So it just makes me wonder, were you just there because of the money? It's a fair question, and I know people are gonna be like, "Well, James, she has her own money." I say, "Yeah, she has her own money, but it's different when you marry a multimillionaire who actually has the actual transferable funds in their account." I think that when it comes to reality TV money, it's very circumscribed. Where,
That's
yeah,
true.
you're making money per episode, but when you think about all of the aspects that go into it, and especially how MTV like to play black people, I don't think it's anywhere as long as the man she was with. So that's why I'm saying I feel like she moves like Portia. It wouldn't surprise me if she don't get no African next season that got a whole bunch of money.
It wouldn't. It wouldn't. Um, do better. Ain't nothing wrong with being single. And that's to anybody. I don't care what your gender is, where you're from, how you identify. Nothing is wrong with being single until you find what you deserve and want. Um, Carly flips everything on Rennie because Rennie's like giving her advice, like you did the best and you didn't know this, didn't know that. And Carly flips it on Rennie and is like, okay, well, what about you? Because you had your problems online too. I see you, Carly, messy through the pain. And I didn't like how Rennie tried to dismiss it. She did explain the situation. So what happened is Rennie's current man, Black Zach, got upset because Rennie's ex, who is also a rapper, put out a song from 2021. This song, it sounds like the subject matter or something has something to do with Rennie. Black Zach took offense to it after people on the internet were in the comments talking about Black Zach looked like a sucker, a simp, things of that nature, and alleging that Rennie cheated and that the baby ain't his because it's light skinned or something crazy like that. Basically, Rennie is telling us that this caused other issues in their relationship, and she got upset and exposed on a live on social media that Black Zach had cheated on her. I already knew that when we first met him. I was like, oh, he gonna cheat. He one of them niggas that'll put a baby in you, then cheat. But for whatever reason, this triggered Rennie. Now she's being accused of cheating by him. The result was what we saw on the internet, which was him putting her out of their house because we don't know who the fuck he is. And the reason was because of cheating. Let me explain something to you, raggedy roach ass Negroes. If you cheat, you want her to forgive you, but you also still probably don't want your location tracked and want her to get over it when it works for you. But when you think that she cheats without any proof, you put her out of her home, that's abuse. For those who don't know.
Not only that, this lady has children. And it's like, and well, one of those children being yours. Are you not thinking at all? And it's not even, it's like, it's a house that you and her share equal equity in. Like, you both are paying for it. How you gonna put somebody out their own shit?
Right.
Like, that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. I was like, wait. And why is that? And another thing that I noticed, his responses to things and his like ways are drastic as hell. It's like, Rennie, are you sure
Right.
this is what you want? Because he seemed like he go to 0 to 1 million. I had to skip the thousands and 100,000s. He go to 0 to 1 million. Like his like response is like drastic. It's like, okay, well, damn. Where's the in between? Where's the questions? None at all. And mind you, it was hearsay. The shit that you were accusing her, it was hearsay. You have no proof she did it. So it's like, why are you even jumping to this kind of conclusions? And then I said, oh, because you're trying to cover up what you probably didn't did.
Yep.
That's what that is. Because there's no way you going that crazy over some shit you can't even prove.
Hmm. I'm just irritated with the whole situation. And Rennie tried to make it seem like, but we brought out some other issues. We was able to talk it out, and now we back good. baby.
It's like, ma'am, you don't want to face your reality. And I get it because you went through a lot. I totally get it. But at the same time, you can't keep using that forever. I think we all do that once we lose a parent. But at the end of the day, you still have a reality to live. And to be delusional in a relationship that doesn't even fully serve you because it's not like the man is taking care of you. So you need to look at it differently. I want her to look at the relationship differently and
Yeah.
understand what this man really is doing versus her just having this, I don't know if it's an obsession or just this impulse to want to be with him. It's insane and it's really not becoming of you, especially being a black woman. It's really not that becoming of you to act like this and then let him do all of this either.
You know, I, I'm sick of it. I really am sick of it. Hi, Bitch Stay Winning. Happy Friday, Junior. Welcome in. She says she has been in abuse relationships before. She needs to stop going through this cycle. She has no self-worth. That's clear. I think it's definitely clear, especially
Mhm.
how fast she moved with this man. I also feel like just my scholarly opinion is that you shouldn't, people have to be careful when they are grieving the people that they allow into their life and the people that they allow to remain in their life. It changes you. As James said, he understands what she's doing because she's lost a parent, but some people will unintentionally take advantage of it. I'm not saying that Black Zach is intentionally like, oh, she's impressionable because she lost her mama, but I do think that he knows that she's more vulnerable and forgiving because she has lost somebody and she has to find that self-worth. And she was trying to find it and figure stuff out with her mom here before she tragically passed. So I wish Rennie well, but I also want her to stop talking about anybody else's relationship based on her own. That's all. Uh, but she does have a pattern. I'm so glad that Abiste went and pointed that out because she does. Now, the last one of the last things we see, because we don't see too much in this episode, y'all, is Scrappy meeting with baby mama number 3, aka the baby mama that they got the baby from the threesome on, or however the hell they did it. So now the baby mama is reminding Scrappy that they had their baby in a threesome, and he said it wasn't even like that. Okay, Scrap.
Well,
Then
then what was it like then? I want him to answer that then. Then what was it like? What was it supposed to be? Was it
either
supposed to be
way,
amicable?
it's bad enough that they wasn't married and did this, but then you want to go and do it, and you don't even know the chick, and you want to go and do it after you did her friend. That's weird.
She reminds me so much of Jock's baby mama. Um, I can't think of her name. It was either Sita or Cena, some shit like that. She reminds me so much of her. How thirsty she is, like just wanting just to make sure that you claim me, make sure that you people know the backstory, make sure that people know I have your child, and it's like, okay, and
The thing of it is, what's sad is that she'll never acknowledge that, and I think that some of the younger generation of women value self-worth based on what it looks like they have and materialism. But she acted a fool in this scene
she
because
showed it. I
she
was like, girl, oh my
she
god.
called out the fact of how they had the baby. Then she also let us know that he still be calling her at 3 o'clock in the morning and wanting some cutty because she got good punani, she says. Then she said that Scrappy is not that great of a father, just an okay father, as if she didn't have televised fucking examples for years. Um, Scrap says he stuck his tillywhacker into the wrong place. He always says this though. And next thing I know, so the baby mama, I think she really thought that Scrap would be with her when they was getting cool and after having this baby, because it was just weird how she handled it and moving out here. Now she's moved out here. Scrap is interested in his current girlfriend, not her. It seemed like the baby mama feels away because she was speaking about how he be running around with his girlfriend and all this other types of stuff. And in my head, I'm just like, girl, you are doing a lot for
That's
a
why I
man
said
that
she
you
remind me of
chose. We could say that this girl trapped him.
right. Cause she, as I said, she remind me. Y'all remember when Sita or Cena, whatever the fuck her name is. Y'all remember when she was coming on the show and Jock was with that other girl, the one that just passed away. She was
Mhm.
doing all of that, and it was like, what are you getting out of this? What are you getting? He with a whole nother woman. He is, I guess, happy with this other woman. We don't know because with Scrappy, you never can tell what the actual prognosis is. But you, what are you trying to prove right now? Like, what is it? Because, ladies, let me explain something to you. Unless he's your husband, having a baby by a man don't mean much these days. I'm sorry, I have to say that unless you marrying him or unless y'all are really committed and have some type of binding agreement, having a baby by a man does not mean anything these days. That don't make you no more special than any other woman in his life. It just doesn't. So, and I'm sorry to hurt y'all little feelings because I know it's so two or three of y'all up in here that's gonna feel a way about this, but it's the truth. Because if they cared about you more than that it was in your mind, they would show up for you more. You wouldn't have to remind them or explain to them who you are in their life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I definitely agree with that. I also think like if a man is like really about his child and wants to be like a dad, then even with all the drama and stuff, he'll cut it short and just do what he has to do for the child. Scrappy's immature though, and you attract what you are. And the way that she acted proved that. She was patting her coochie like Evelyn did OG on Basketball Wives, talking about he's always gonna come back, yelling in the bathrobe with nothing on, talking about your mom wanted me crazy. Here's crazy. I think she watched herself last season, didn't like the edit that she got, or somebody said something to her, and now she's trying to like make her mark because she knows now that he has a new girlfriend. We're not interested and probably won't see her that much. Girl, calm down.
That's what I'm saying. She think that's what say you ain't special at all, man. I'm sorry. I hate to be the one to tell you, you ain't special at all. Nobody's special in Scrappy's life, not even his own mama, because he don't make that effort to make y'all special like that. So I'm sorry to disappoint you. You know, you should have had a baby by somebody of more of a stature that actually is emotionally ready for you.
I agree. I definitely agree with that. Y'all, nothing really else happened. They show that the women are gonna get together for Jessica's fake ass wellness event. It looks like not everyone is there. I know Spice, Carly, most of the group will be there, so we'll see. I don't really care to see them argue about stuff from last season. Like, do something new, do something iconic. I'm over it. But Love and Hip Hop is back, and we will be covering it the day after it airs. If it changes, we'll let you guys know. I am a full-time graduate student as well as a full-time clinical case manager. So I have been moving my lives and doing the best I can with balancing it. But I appreciate everybody for supporting us. We're going to end this live and head into the Valley. Yes, I think the Valley. And then after that, we'll do Housewives of Miami. The link to the link to James's channel is in the description of this video. But I appreciate all of you. And we'll see you on the next live. Adios.